Let's travel across the oceans. It's arguably the jewel of the Cook Islands tourism industry, but algae has been spreading in Rarotonga's once pristine Muri Lagoon, and consultants have been hard to find a way to salvage the sick waterway, but as many say, it's too little too late. RNZ International Sally Round has been in Rarotonga and filed this report.
Late afternoon at Muri Lagoon. It's hot and the water's still. People are lolling in the shallows and lounging on the beach. Richard Smith, a tourist who's just arrived on Rarotonga, has no idea the lagoon is in trouble.
It's sheltered and you can snorkel right off the beach. This is perfect for us.
It was also news to another visitor, Hamish Whistler, who's just been out snorkelling.
It does look like it used to be a lot better, but you can see a bit of the bleaching and that and dead coral floating around. I was hoping to be better than this, but it wasn't bad.
Graham Taylor, who lives near Muri and regularly walks his dog there, says it's far from the pristine place it once was.
There's a smell about it sometimes. If you dig deep into the sand, there's sludge down the bottom. Blue sand, never seen blue sand before. There's a big problem here and they've got to do something about it.
Kelvin Passfield of the environmental group Te Pukarea Society says it's not deemed a health risk, but he prefers to swim elsewhere.
I'd say it's very close to dying. If you go for a snorkel out there and look at the coral heads, there's a few small areas where there's still live coral. So much of it is just dead now, and a recent bleaching event, we've just had a coral bleaching event here as well, which hasn't helped.
The Asian Development Bank noted the pollution back in 2009 and warned then of the risk to the critical tourism industry. A traditional leader near Muri, Philip Nicholas, says his people and fishing are affected too. He says drastic actions needed now.
If we can get in there and remove all that sand, dredge that sand out, we should see an immediate improvement in the flushing of the whole lagoon.
Kelvin Passfield says dredging is a short-term solution.
One of the issues is that there are still being approvals given for more resorts and hotel developments on the coast, and that's just going to exacerbate the problem as well. The more nutrients going in is just going to make it worse, and they should be looking very closely at restricting more hotels going up.
Over the last fortnight, the seaweed is reported to have died off a bit because of plenty of rain. The CEO of the Cook Islands Tourism Corporation, Halatoa Fua, is optimistic, citing a new cohesive approach to dealing with the bloom and consultants being engaged to report back within 18 months.
It's one of the most photographed and visited sites in the Cook Islands, especially for visitors. But now that we've seen a lot of that disappearing, it's quite pleasing for us, but it doesn't mean that we rest on our laurels. There still needs to be a lot of work to be done for sanitation management here in the Cook Islands.
Back on the shore of Muri Lagoon, Canadian tourists Richard Smith and Barbara Gibson suggest tourists could be part of the solution.
But we'd be happy, I think, to pay some sort of, environmental cleanup tax, and if that money went to it, then I think every tourist would be happy to contribute to that.
Cabinet Minister Mark Brown says fixing up the lagoon is a priority and dredging work is likely once environmental consents are achieved. For Checkpoint, Sally Round.